Yes, yes. We got to just let this ride. We're loading it up. If you're in the chat room, please share this. Let's hang out. Let's have a vibe. It's your boy. Oh, yeah. It's a midday live. I am KILLcRey. One part. I say part because I think we're still, like, you know, it's still out whether or not we're like a duo, a trio, a quad. We have like lots of different parts, but mostly you see me and Gene Flo. He's here today, by the way. He's kicking it in the background. In the producer's lounge. Oh, shoot. But yeah, man, my name is Chris. Or you can call me KILLcRey. Man, I have been working. This is like a break. This is how I take my breaks now. I realize like this is, there's something therapeutic about this. Sharing time with you, you know? I'm working on a project right now that has me doing a ton of research. All about hip-hop and components of hip-hop. Just tons of stuff, you know? By the way, that's nothing new. That's usually the kind of projects that I'm working on. It just so happens that I'm deep in one right now. And so I've been scouring the internet like I always do. And, you know, I am of Mexican descent. Shout out to 2Mex. Oh, shit. But I'm a Mexican American. My mom is first generation here legally. It's okay to say that. Try to catch them. My nana would be too quick for y'all. But yeah, so growing up, I grew up in a neighborhood called Barrio Logan. And the culture around that area is heavily inundated with, like, you know, Chicano and Mexican culture. Chicano being and I was just looking this up before I came on. Chicano, let's see, the difference between Latino and Chicano. Let's go. Not everybody from Spanish-speaking countries identifies as a Latino or Hispanic. Chicano, for example, is a term mostly adopted by Mexican Americans or Mexico Americanos. Who would write that? It's who do not identify as Latino or Hispanic. I fall into that category for sure. It's especially used in the Southwest and in the U.S., and I don't know why they put El Paso. But from what I know, the Chicano culture, like the actual growth of the culture, and like the components and the understanding of the pillars, and then culture's built on top of that, right? There's like things like the brown berets, and then there's like an educational aspect of the Chicano movement. And, you know, there's a very indigenous part of the Chicano movement. But most of that, what I know, came out of the fields and the streets and the barrios that were mostly on the west coast of the United States. And the part where it says who do not identify as Latino or Hispanic, that part I do know as true. That's usually if the broad sense of the term. But also I feel like people who identify themselves as Chicano identify themselves with a particular part of the Mexican or Mexican American experience in the United States. Woo! Hey, I'm fucking plugged in right now, bro.
Let's go.
You know what I mean? Like, shit. That's just straight from the source to y'all, by the way. I have no scripts. I'm thinking of this in real time, but that's what it is. I went to college for a tad. And all my Chicano studies classes pretty much said that. A lot of stuff in the LA, San Diego area. I'm from San Diego. We have Chicano Park here. It's world famous, right? It stands for resistance. That's also another component of the Chicano thing, right? The culture. And so being a hip hop artist, I've always rested like somewhere right in the middle of like Chicano culture and then authentic hip hop culture, which in a lot of ways helped raise me, right? Like if the Chicano culture was my mom, hip hop was my dad. I think that's the best way I could say it. For sure, good and bad from both those things, by the way. But and positive, tons of positive, obviously. I'm doing this right now because of that. Because of those things that existed. So I think that I always kind of wrestled with like, yo, where do I fit in? Right? Like growing up, my grandmama was from Mexico, right? So like the way I grew up was kind of more from a Mexican point of view. My grandmother helped raise me, right? And so the Chicano part didn't come to me till later, till I started to like educate myself on like the plight of the Mexican people here in the United States and what it means to live here as a Mexican person in the United States. And so, but early on I resonated with just the Mexican experience, really. I just didn't know that, you know? And I lived in Barrio Logan where a lot of people were first generation Mexican here in the United States. And we were surrounded by that. So like I didn't really know the Chicano part until I educated myself on it. And I think that's a component in it too. Just to call yourself Chicano, you got to kind of know this stuff, right? Otherwise, what are you calling yourself? You're just calling yourself some random thing that you heard someone else call themselves? Or at least that's the way I see it. Gene, do I sound on?
You're on point, brother.
I think I'm on.
Preach.
I think I'm on. So for me, I have friends who, you know, cherish the Chicano culture and practice it like I practice the levels of hip hop culture that I practice, right? Like I pursue it as a career. It's part of the art that I make. It's what pours out of me all the time. It's kind of how I look at my perspective through partially through that lens, right out into the world. Yeah. So I've always wondered, where do I stand? Where do I end up? And as I grew up in hip hop and in what I would know as the Chicano culture, I realized the music part, like there's a big misunderstanding between both sides, right? There's us who grow up with the soundtrack of hip hop and learning about the world at large through hip hop while they are experiencing the Chicano culture, right? In my day-to-day, every day. So one was like inspiration and one was, like I said, like parents and like the dichotomy of life. Yeah, so as I grew up, I started to learn more that the misunderstanding was, it seems to me that the sides occasionally, and let me speak for the side that I can only speak for, right? Like I'm a Chicano, I'm a Mexican American, from that experience. And I grew up from the moment I touched down on a path of hip hop. So talking from that way, I do know that like a lot of the times Latino people might not feel that welcomed in the larger pot of hip hop sometimes, or they feel left out. And there's truth to that. For sure. And then there's some things that are exaggerated, for sure. But I think if you look at like hip hop as a neighborhood, right? It's black and brown people living next to each other. For the most part, and there's white contingency in there, right? Our white brothers and sisters, you know, they're in there because they're a part of the struggle. Usually, I know for hip hop culture, at least the way I entered it, like it was the sound of, for lack of better description, poverty for people who didn't have a lot. Because the entry point to it was, at least musically, was there was a way to do it simply. You could just start doing it, right? You didn't need a whole lot. And even if you were to produce or DJ, again, if your mom had a record player, or if pops had a tape deck, you were in the game. So it resonates with people like that. So, and thus, it would probably resonate with a lot of people in that those circumstances. And in the United States, a lot of those people are of Mexican descent. That just makes sense to me. So of course, hip hop would be the soundtrack. To me, of course. Doesn't mean that I don't listen to Spanish music. Nah, I fucking love Spanish music. But that's not necessarily my reality every day, right? I have to go outside. And that's not what I see every day. But hip hop finds a place for us, you know? And I think every once in a while, we both sides, whether you're just coming from a hip hop side or you're coming from Chicano side, we both need to see that, you know? We need to make room for each other so that we can understand each other. I think I got most of that off my chest. But that brings me to the things that I've been discovering online, right? Because I like to see the internet. I want you guys to check this out. Shout out to Tony A, by the way. If you guys don't know who Tony A is, what's wrong with you? You don't like hip hop, I'll tell you that. Look up Roadium Swap Meet. Look up Roadium Radio. Look up Tony A. Legendary. Steve Yano. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. So look up those people. And Tony, this is Tony A's show. Shout out to Tony A. Go to Tony Vision. Look, I'm already subscribed up. Support him. He's doing amazing things. Keeping dialogues that need to be alive. He keeps them alive. And that's super dope. But this is him talking with Royalty, right? If you don't know who Royalty is, you should look that up as well. He is a pioneer, not just in hip hop, but like I would even say like hip hop business. You got to give him his love on that. He really is. A lot of the Chicano rap artists, if you know of them, at some point they went through Royalty's brand or his distribution. I'm talking Little Rob. Little Rob is, well, you know what? Before we get into that, let me let you listen to them. This is them talking about who the face of Chicano rap is.
One of them.
Okay. I'll give you an example. Reality. I'll give you an example so that you can understand what I'm talking about. When I say golf, faces you don't when I say golf, who's the first person you think of?
Frost.
Tiger Woods. No, when I say golf, like golf,
I think of a white guy.
People think Tiger Woods. When we say basketball, people think Jordan or Kobe.
Jordan.
Okay, that's what I mean by the face. Okay, so you're saying Frost or Little Rob. Okay, so now, when we say Chicano rap, who's the first person that pops into your mind?
Now you said the face.
Yeah.
Remember my lines. And I want you guys to listen very fucking clearly.
Oh.
Bitches lie.
Whoa. Okay, hold on. Let me, I don't want to get dude, it's going to be really hard for me to get this show monetized. So sponsors reach out. But hold on. Let me see.
Numbers don't.
Right.
Tony, I don't even want to fucking say it because this person is not that fucking handsome.
Wow.
But
Does it matter if he's handsome?
well, no, it doesn't. Dick's nice. listen. He has a nice dick.
Whoa. Hold on.
Yes.
A lot of these men have been on your here.
Right. I understand that.
And this is.
Oh, you know what he did is he ends up saying Tony is the face of Chicano hip-hop, right? But they get on to talking about more of the names.
Tony, you're the voice of Chicano rap right now. Meaning you have the platform. I run the game. This is the platform. And all these people didn't want to say my name because I was known as the bully because these liars, Chicano rappers.
Right.
Numbers don't fucking lie. From Frost.
See, like, I'd like to know when he's saying like Chicano rappers, is he talking to anybody who's had the Chicano experience and who like lived the Chicano experience? Because I don't know Royalty like that. He seems like he's a mastermind. Seems like he's a very intelligent dude to have like a business that's gone for this long. I understand how that can go, how people, when you're running businesses like that, how sometimes people can look at you as a bad guy. I could see how that narrative could be there, or he could just be a bad guy. I don't know. I don't know him is what I'm saying. But I wouldn't think when he's saying like, fuck Chicano rappers, like, I don't think he's talking about me because I see it. I feel like here, with much respect to Roadium, I feel like a lot of times when they're talking about Chicano rap, and I think this is part of Tony doing this, Tony's trying to figure it out for himself as well. Not like he doesn't know. I'm sure he has his own opinion, but he's doing more research on like, what is Chicano rap and what does it mean to people? And I think that when Royalty is talking about Chicano rappers, I think he's talking about a particular type of Mexican American who is also rapping, right? And that type of person is usually affiliated with neighborhoods, right? In the Mexican American culture, there's a lot of neighborhoods, gang neighborhoods. Not so much like sets like in the black neighborhoods, but like a lot of them are just broken up to little parts of neighborhoods, streets sometimes, and that's a reality of it. And then the people who make like the soundtrack for that music seem to be seen as Chicano rap by the greater group of hip hop. And I think that discussion, and this is why I credit Tony for doing this. I think that discussion needs to be expanded or at least revisited more in different ways from different opinions, because we're going to see some Chicano rappers who are traditionally seen today as Chicano rappers, and then I'm going to show you some alternatives to that and see what you guys think.
To everyone, what's your highest fucking number? The ugliest fat motherfucker, 5 fucking
Good
hours.
God.
Who has more? I outpassed all highest fucking number.
I think he was saying basically he's the face of Chicano rap, but eventually he talks about...
We hit numbers these motherfuckers can never hit in their life. I'm going to say it's you because you're giving a platform. No, listen. They're going to know you're bringing it to... That took all the numbers? Who is it? Who took the numbers? I want you to say.
He's saying like if it comes down to numbers, then it's him, right? Because he moved the most numbers, responsible semi for Little Rob's career.
But the numbers don't lie. The work is fucking amazing. Right.
But just the discussion alone got me interested in like, so what Chicano rap are they talking about? Like for instance, right? Let me get this on here. For instance, I don't know if you guys saw this literally today. Oh man, we are, Gene, we're like a modern news station. You know what I mean? Breaking news. I don't know if you guys saw this, but the Mexican O.T.
That's what you want.
The Mexican O.T. is on Joe Rogan's show, which is crazy to me, right? And this is like, if you know his story, like he's a young man making music for young men. I don't think he's like making music for like necessarily me. I know he probably wants a lot of people to just think his shit slaps, and like it does. But I'm not bumping it all the time is what I'm saying. I'm a little past my club years, if you know what I'm saying. Allegedly. But he's on here and his life experience is that of a Chicano person. And that's, you know, when is royalty talking about him too? I don't think he is. Like, no disrespect. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he is, because I think Chicano rappers, they have kind of accepted, they've almost accepted like the role that they've been placed in, as opposed to just being like, nah, you can't tell us what we look like or what we should do or what we should make. We've kind of almost given into like, oh, okay, this is what we are. We're neighborhood music and adjacent. But we're so much more than that. Like, is Tumex Chicano rap? Because they add him to stuff. And I know because he's told us himself, Tumex has said this himself, because his name has Mex in it, a lot of the times he's been added to stuff, right? He's just been added to, like, he said, like, they'll call him for like lowrider shows. But that's not necessarily his audience, right? Like, he makes some very heady, out there music. He's an artist all the way. I know him. This is my brother. He's like, we're good friends. Like, I know what he thinks about himself. He's trying to be like the craziest artist there could be. He loves being Mexican, and he's a Chicano by life experience. But I don't think he's making Chicano rap. He wouldn't say that. By the way, I directed this video for him, if you guys didn't know. Tumex Friday Rich. By the way, Hip Hop Eddie is in this video. I'll tell you this right now. Gene, let's do it like a little giveaway. If here it is. If you guys can tell me the minute points, right? Like the actual time that Eddie shows up in this video, and you put it in the comments of this video. So if you go to the Tumex Friday Rich video over at Platform Collection, and by the way, you got to be following us and all that. You know what you got to do. Not just going to give you some free stuff. What are we, crazy? We'll give you guys a T-shirt and the Grateful Flow album, some stickers. We'll send you a package, one package, to celebrate, you know, this neighborhood we're building here at the Invisible Panchos. But at the minute point that OG Hip Hop Eddie, and if you have to figure out who that is, then you got to do that, right? That's as much as I'm giving you. OG Hip Hop Eddie shows up the minute point on the Tumex Friday Rich video. You got yourself a T-shirt. You got yourself a package from us personally. We'll put it in the vlog and everything. We'll call you. When you get it, you can be in the vlog. Woo! What a deal. We're doing deals today. It's Friday Rich, man. Today's Friday, right? Yeah. Today's Friday, yep. Friday Rich. But I'm not going to give it away to you guys. Anyways, look up the video. But is Tumex Chicano rap? I don't know. I wouldn't. He doesn't say he is. The majority of people I've spoken to don't bring up his name when they're talking about Chicano rap. It's usually, again, someone affiliated to a neighborhood. Let me look up this. So like the homie Viva Mescal, right? He's obviously not denying his Chicano roots, right? There's no way he's not. He's accepted that there's a dichotomy in his life. I know him. Amazing MC. He loves hip hop. Like that's all he's ever been as well. You know, he's obviously good at it, at the craft. Yeah. Like, I mean, come on. He's not, does he seem like he's an American? Yeah. Is he obviously Mexican? Yeah. Just listen to what he's talking about. Look at how he's dressed, like what he's choosing. It's a choice. It's not like someone told him, you got to wear this and put that out there. Dude, this is an underground MC. He's choosing all those things. So he obviously wants you to see those things because those things are important to him. When they're saying Chicano rap, are they talking about him? Because again, all these artists seem to be not included in that greater conversation. And I wonder what that, why is that still going on? Like, that's like some of your cousins get to come to the barbecue, but not all but not all of them though. I get it. It's kind of a shitty family to live in though. You know what I mean? Like if that's what it's like. It's kind of doper when you're like, oh, dude, I never get to see my homie who's into this thing, but is one of us. How much doper is that? Am I off on this? Gene?
You ain't lying.
I'm not lying. Yeah, man. But I'd love to hear what you guys think. That's what this is about. We're hanging out. I just felt compelled to share those thoughts with y'all. You know, I'm feeling blue. You know, feeling a little blue about that topic. That we're still having that because here's the thing, man. Shout out to early influences of mine, like people like Mr. Little One, Night Owl, Mr. Shadow. I still heard all that music. And those guys could spit. They could actually, you know what I mean? They spit. Where I do notice that too, though, and I think that's a conversation that needs to be had as well. Because here's my hip hop side here. You have to rap good. Like that's part of this if you want to be part of the hip hop family, because that is the entry point. You have to do it good. And some of that stuff is very obvious to tell. You shouldn't sound like the guy next to you. Boom. I mean, I think that's pretty simple, no? I think that I think that's important, and I think that conversation has to happen in the Chicano rap circle as well. Like, yo, how much of our music sounds the same? What era are we continuing to sample from? Who are we talking to? Do we want to be seen as relevant now? Or are we part of history in that we stay at a point in history? Woo! Bars. But it's because I love both these cultures, man. And it confuses me that conversation is still happening, still today. But shout out to people like Viva Mescal, the homies over at 86 Inca, and the people just representing a Chicano lifestyle that is not necessarily in a box, man. You know? And here's the thing. If it's very easy to compare you, then you as the artist are responsible to make it not. And again, those things, how do you do that? That's art, right? But I do know that conversation is out there, right? That, how many times have you heard like, oh, Chicano rap, that's Cholo rap. There might be Cholos rapping, right? That's true, because you should hear their experience. They should be at the table if everybody's invited. But if it's all like that, then you're losing the hip hop part in it. The hip hop part is like, yo, don't do that. It's why the big argument in hip hop right now is everything sounds the same. We're tired of it. Well, you should have stopped going like that's the way it works. Just do the thing that worked last time. And that conversation has to happen in Chicano hip hop. If we love it, if we want to advance it, that has to happen. But anyways, I think I got it out, Gene. I think I got it out. Yeah, it's mostly out. But Chicano hip hop, man, I'm still digging in. I love it all, by the way. I love it all. I love all of it. It's all dope to me. Like it's like a representation. Like you're literally. Do you guys like watch the show Vice or like shows like that? Like where you get to see lives that are not like yours, or do you guys just like watch stuff that's just like you? I'm not. You're probably not here if you're into that, I guess, because we're not into. We don't. I don't need another me anywhere. You don't need another me. You sure don't need another Gene, I'll tell you that. You know what I mean? There's no room. There's only one. And I think we should shoot for that in art. So imagine imagine when if 10 years from now you go Chicano hip-hop and it means like, dude, there's like this science part of it. There's this mental health part of it. There's the streets part. The neighborhood is still there, right? Nobody has to leave. But you got to open it up, man. Strength in numbers. I feel good now. Comments again. 2Mex video. Friday Rich. At what point does Hip Hop Eddie show up? What minute mark? And you get a package free on the sleeve. You know what I mean? Let me see what else is going on before we get out of here. Man, did you see? Hey, Gene, have you been seeing that Ryan Garcia stuff?
Yeah.
Good God, man, Ryan Garcia. I don't even want to go through. I had downloaded the video and I was going to share it with y'all, but y'all just look it up, man. Look, this is what Ryan Garcia is running through. Like the city. I think he's out in Texas right now. And he's acting. He's doing crazy stuff, man. You know. He was running. I guess he was jogging. And did you see this? Did you see him jogging this morning, Gene?
No, I haven't seen the latest.
So he was jogging this morning, and at one point he's like, "That's it, 24-hour live," right? Which you already know, like, yo, this dude's like in the middle. He fights next month. Like for titles against one of the greatest boxers on the planet, arguably right now. And he's like, I'm gonna stay up and do 24 hours. That alone, right? It starts off like that. And then he's running. He's like, we're calling out. I don't want to say the word for it. I think you guys you know what I'm saying. It's about young people being mistreated, right? People have been using the word Pedialyte on YouTube instead of that word because you don't want to get flagged, and I don't either. And fuck all that. Oops, whatever. Well, there goes that. And I think what Ryan stands for, right, is like, hey, don't hurt kids. No, yeah, duh. And you would be super dope. By the way, you're rich, Ryan. You're rich. Like, you can help some kids right now, like right now, But there is a part of this narrative that makes you want to put you as the messenger. Like, that's almost more important than the message, the fact that you're the messenger. But anyway, so he's jogging, right, Gene? And he's passing people, right? And he's putting their face, they're on live, right? He's not asking anybody. He's just putting people on live. Yeah. First mistake, right? First mistake. You're a famous rich person and you're putting people without asking them on live, right? You are protected somewhat in some states up until this point. He then yells at them and goes, hey, are you Pedialytes? Are you those, or do you judge those? And he's like, quiet. I knew it. They're demons, right? Shows two girls looking at him like at the camera, and they're like, what the? They're almost like, is that Ryan Garcia? You know what I mean? And so imagine this, like immediately my mind went into lawyer mode. I was like, oh my God, this dude just lost 100 million. Because those two girls, dude, they're getting memed already. For people who believe Ryan just saw two demons right now and those two young ladies who were just out for a morning walk. And it says Pedialyte under their faces. Imagine that alone. Do you have a case? Yes, you do. Because you did not ask for that. You did not. And the moment he engaged you, he brought you into it. Woo. That won't win in court. You won't win in court, Ryan. Damn it. Am I the first one putting this out there? Everyone you put on that video today now, because look at later on, Gene, right after that, a fan runs up. Someone who is like totally, I'm Ryan Garcia. Everything you're doing is great, man. Keep it up. Cool. Would he sue? Nah, of course he wouldn't. Until he finds out he's on that Pedialyte video that everybody's talking about. And now no one wants to hire him or he gets fired. And now he's like, damn, I was on Ryan's side, but man, I'm not going to be broke for you. Boom. And all those would be millions, by the way. Where the heck, one, is Oscar De La Hoya? That is his promoter, the guy arguably that stands to make the second most amount, probably more money actually, than Ryan. He's just hoping that this fight goes on. At what point are you like, man, put this, oh, he's on here 17 seconds ago. Good God, someone stop him. He's saying that's why he had that, how do I say that word? Oh, hopefully you can read it. It's not God, it's the ritual thing at his concerts. I was there and he lost his voice because I was rebuking it in the, oh my God. So he's talking about, oh no, he's talking about the Weeknd. He was at a Weeknd concert rebuking his name from the crowd, and that's why Abel lost his voice. Bro, this was 17 seconds ago. What? Oscar De La Hoya, where are you? What? You know what?
He's saying that
he was in the crowd
because Ryan Garcia rebuked it.
Yeah, bro. Okay, so how much of the Ryan thing are you up on? So I can just bring you up to speed.
Pretty up.
You know that he knows who killed Tupac for real?
So he says, or he does?
Well, this is
Right.
Ryan Garcia. Don't lie.
Right.
It's from God to him
Uh-huh.
because he's the chosen one. Is what he said.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Yep. So this is how far he's gone now, and so now he's taking the Weeknd down from the crowd. 11 minutes ago. There will also be no secrets anymore with American peoples. No such thing as classified files. Okay, he's going to bring this all down. You guys will know everything. I got your back. You need to have mine. Please help me become president. What?
Show more.
What? What?
Let God's will be done, not mine.
King Ryan as president. No. But you had to know this was coming in. Okay. Hey, Jane, remember when I was saying earlier this year, I was like, dude, I feel like 2024 is going to be that year where very obvious, crazy things are going to happen. And we're all going to just be like, meh. Like no, more than ever before this year, it's boiling over. This is Ryan Garcia, right? Look, it's hard for people who even hear his name right now to not see him as a crazy person right now. So you don't even remember that you did see him as potentially on his way to being one of the greatest boxers ever. He has everything that he needs. He was on a great path. And then something happened. One, he lost. First, he had a mental breakdown, then came back maybe too soon. And then he loses, right? Bro, imagine just like losing your job. Imagine losing by knockout in front of the entire world.
How old is he?
He's 20s, 25, I think.
Uh-huh.
He's a kid, dude. And when you hear him talk, he sounds like a child. Like he's not making good decisions. It's too passion driven, right? Because it could be diverted into actual energy and actual action. But it's still in that kid phase, right? That we've all been. That's how we know. And of course, if you were watching this as a movie, right? The crazy guy who says that He knows what's in the Vatican. He's been behind, closed doors. He's seen actual aliens, UFOs. Also knows Tupac this whole time, by the way, while he's been boxing, dude. So imagine, let's just go. Because respect due. If Ryan is right, he's the greatest. He is Jesus. Because he won a few titles. He's had a whole boxing career. He was poor for some reason. I guess he chose to now. Now that, if you're going by his narrative, and now he's ready to become president. In the movie, that's what that guy would do. He'd be like, I'm going to be president. Good God, dude. How much? Let's see. This is been retweeted 27 times. I'm glad that's very low for someone of his status. Let's see this. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, man. Crazy. Someone help Ryan, dude. Here's the reality of this, dude. And I said this last time. One, this is like a passionate kid. Obviously, because the talent level that he's been able to reach in his craft, it is the highest of levels. I'm telling you, I'm a boxing fan. I've watched boxing my whole life. There's no saying Ryan's not the real deal. That's crazy. And it's also crazy to say that he's scared. You don't get in the ring and be scared. That's not what's happening. There's other stuff going on. And how about thinking that it could just be people shit? Like, oh, I support my whole family. And I'm 25 and I think he has 2 or 3 kids. Divorced already? Holy crap, dude. Gene, he's lapped you a few times in like the steps. And that's too much for like one of those steps can divert one person's life forever. And sure, he's special. He has to be performing at that level, but he's special in the thing that he does, not as just a person as a whole. Most likely he's missing a lot of things to have become good in that one area. That's how this works. It's weird that people would think otherwise. He's an amazing boxer. He should be president. What? How do we make the leap? Why are we in that place right now? That's so weird to me. I hope, especially young people, I hope they understand, like, yo, you guys get that. That is weird, right? That is a weird leap. Just think about it in your own life. Like, you come into school, right? All young people can relate to this. You come into school, you know what it's supposed to be. And you walk into your favorite class, and for some reason, you don't know why. For some reason, the guy who normally cleans the pool is teaching the class because he's just like, yo, I just wanted to teach. I'm this now. And everybody's like, yeah, because he's a good guy. He's cool. Do you see how that would be? That would be weird. And then things could get slowed down. And then, like, say you did want to learn some stuff and you just weren't going to be able to learn it because the wrong person is teaching it, so on, so on, so on. That leads to what? What I'm saying is this is chaos. And the fact that people are applauding for it, I mean, you might be an anarchist. I know some anarchists. I have anarchist friends. But this is weird. It is that, pretty much. It's close to that. And this is and we're watching this in like the goggles of boxing, which is weird. My heart goes out to him, man. He too is a Chicano, by the way. What are the pressures that he's gone through in his life? Why are they not being addressed? And why is it pouring out right now in front of all of us to see? And where are the people that like love him? Why are they not tackling him? Man, I know if I got a little bit out of pocket, Gene would tackle me. That's just like one person. He's got to have one. And if he doesn't, which it doesn't seem like he does, it's reason for concern. Sports. Gotta love it. I watch it. we're going to talk about it sometimes. It is what it is. Anyways, Chris sees the internet every time that I want. Weekly, daily sometimes. Just depends on what pops up. Look what we've talked about. We put a lot out there. This Chicano rap episode, whew. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably going to start some conversations. It is the world we live in. I stand by it all, though. And I love a good debate, by the way. Please. I have you on the show. Let's do this. Get on. But shout to everybody that I mentioned. Man, shout to Chicano Hip-Hop. Keep trying to grow. It's dope. I'm in it whether you like it or not. It is what it is. We'll see you guys next time. Gene, when is the B Block?
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday, B Block. Coming up. Who knows? Gene might jump on here live, though, occasionally. I feel like it's on its way. We're hanging out on YouTube's now. And then you saw Gene. By the way, Gene streamed a live performance set from AZ. Shout out to Zona. And he smashed it, of course. Everybody seemed to smash it there, Gene.
That was a great set.
Really cool sounds, too.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as you went live, I was like, oh, this is a vibe. Like, it felt really dope.
Everyone killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll talk about that on this show, about, like, how different scenes feel different. Because the whole reason I'm even saying, like, you're probably like, well, of course it's a vibe. It's not always a vibe. Or sometimes it's not like a good feeling vibe. Sometimes it's like, ooh, it's about to go down here, right?
Right.
But it looked like, even watching it on Instagram, it felt like, oh, it seemed really cool place. People were like mingling, hanging out, vibing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shout out to Beatcast.
Shout out to Bcast. Those are the homies. Show them love. Give them hugs. You know what I mean? Ask them what Chicano hip-hop is. We're trying to figure it out. But we'll see you guys next time, man. Make sure to subscribe and, do that stuff. Whatever. All right. Peace.